I've been working on the first vocal preset template, and I haven't seen any for Traction Waveform at all. So I'm hoping that you all enjoy it. I'm going to allow select people to try it. But if you want to try it for free, you're going to have to put in the comments, I want to try it for free. All right. I want to try it for free. First, I went on Splice and was trying to find some dry vocals to use just to get an idea of some things, because whenever you're trying to make a template or vocal preset template, you want to make sure that you have various different voice types, so that way you can see if the plugin that you make or the preset that you make, if it works on different microphones or different vocals, etc. Now, of course, everything that you do, you will have to tweak. Now, don't just think this is going, well, it might sound great right out the box, but you may have to tweak it for your mic or for your voice, so but I'll show you exactly how you're going to go about doing that. It is a little tedious to go about making these plugins, which is probably why nobody's really made it yet. But anyway, it's okay. We'll see how it works. All right, I have this little rinky-dink groove that I just created. I'm going to mute everything else. So, and it goes like this. Okay, but we're not here for the groove, right? You already know about the groove. You know how to make beats and do things inside here. We're here for the vocals. So I started out with this little rap that I came up with, and I recorded it twice. So I have it here, I recorded it, and then I recorded down here. Now, originally I was going through and I was trying to use the rack, which is, I've talked about how to do the rack before. Basically, on a rack, what you do is you click the plus sign, then you go to plug-in racks, all right? And then you click on that. And then you can do new from preset. There's a bunch of presets that come in here already. So I definitely use any of these. They might sound good. I haven't went through all of them myself. Or you can create a new empty rack, and you'll see my front and center Justivox, which is what it's going to be called, front and center Justivox. Now, this is AKA In Your Face, which is the plugin that I created, or the preset I created for Cakewalk, and I have a Waves version of that too if you use Waves Audio. I started off doing that, and the way those racks work, you have to like add them and patch them in. It's like old school patch cable type of things, and it's great, but for some reason sometimes things didn't quite, I don't know, something was off and it wasn't sounding right to me. So the best way that I went about it, that you can go about if you ever decide to create your own, is to just add the plugins directly to the track. If you're going to do that, once you add all the plugins to the track, then you can actually highlight each of them by holding down Control or either holding down Shift, and then highlight all the plugins, and then it gives you the option to do what's called wrap to plugin. You'll see it right here, wrap this plugin to a new rack. So once you click on that, then it'll create it into this rack. So this is my front and center. All right, I'm going to show you what it looks like so you can show how tedious it looks. All right, and then I'll let you hear what it sounds like. So in here I have a noise gate, I have some distortion, which is for saturation. Just going to give it a little bit more bite to it. I have 3 EQs, and I'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. I have a delay, I have a reverb. I don't have them up much, but you can add them to taste. And I have what is this? Okay, that's the EQ too as well. All right, and this is a compressor. So I have 2 compressors, right? I have another compressor. Yeah, I got a compressor right here and a compressor right there. And what I've done with the compressors and the effects is I've added a simple mechanism that allows you to adjust the mix of them. You can do the same thing with the reverb. That's better than trying to pull up here and then trying to go mess with all of this. So if you want to say you don't want to reverb at all, or maybe you want to add more reverb in, then you could just click on it and then just drag it. Right now, I'm gonna keep it at like 4% or something like that. Same thing with the compressor. All right. For this last compressor, I did like you can adjust the output if you need to bring it up, bring it down, whichever. Then you can go do that. So let's hear what this sounds like. Let's just hear the vocal dry. I'm not gonna put any music on. Gonna mute everything else, and then we'll talk about this top track. What this top track is. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Okay. All right. That's the vocal. You can actually hear some noise in the background, which is why I added a noise gate to this front and center, just in case you're a person, you rapping or singing or whatever, and you got people in the background making noise. This one up here, the condenser, let's listen to this one. And this one, same thing. My wife was in there washing dishes, and my daughter's in the background. So yeah, stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Okay. So, and that was this mic. Now, this mic really sounds good, but for some reason, I maybe haven't used it in a while. I've really gotten used to this Behringer mic, which lets you know that you don't really need to use a condenser mic all the time. I mean, you could just use a, unidirectional cardioid mic and it will work fine if that's what you have access to. All right, let's play it. Disabled. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a prophet. Enabled. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a prophet. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a prophet. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Okay. All right. And it's ever so subtle. Like I said, you can adjust this. Like if I really needed to be a little louder, I can turn that gain up some too as well. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Okay. All right. This little corny guitar part is funny as a mug. All right. So, and that's that. And I can add it to this one too as well. I'm going to press Control and I'll copy it to the other one. And then we can listen to it with the the condenser mic. Let's mute this. All right. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. Stepping out the lab with the hunger of a prophet. Vinyl in my veins. I don't need to chase a profit. So you can hear a big difference on this one. Like now, I don't just Behringer mics. I don't know. I really like Behringer mics now. I fell in love with them. But this one tends to be a little bit more brighter. And I did use this little screen, whatever, like windscreen pop filter. My brain is fried, but I used a pop filter on that, and that did help. So, but you can see the difference between the two. The one effect sounds good on both. Like I said, you can adjust reverb and delay. I'm not really worried about that. You can adjust it however you want. You can go in and tweak it how you really want. The only thing that I don't like about the way these are set up, and it's going to be for a separate video. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but there's some things that I've been diving into, and there's a lot of things that Waveform can do, but there's a lot of things that it can't do. And so I'm going to make a separate video about that because I don't want to bring everybody's spirit down. So just be prepared. I'm going to bring out a video, probably like 5 things that I don't like about Traction Waveform. And this is a direct vocal that came from Splice. This girl sounds good though. Focus on me. This is with it on. I need you to. This is with it off. Focus on me. With it on. Baby, can you focus on me? Now, see, there's some tones in there. You can kind of hear focus it. Focus on. When she says on. There's a that frequency. And normally what I would do is I'll go about like trying to adjust it via EQ. And that's what I spend a lot of time on, it, like trying to find exactly where that frequency is and dip it, because Like I said, the rooms, they cause different, reflections to happen. If you don't have a treated room, you'll hear all kind of EQ that does not present well with your vocal. So even with me right here, I hear a lot of frequencies. I'm like, oh, I hate that frequency, All right. Now the question is, will you try this temporarily free vocal preset for Waveform? And if you are, what did I tell you to say in the comments? Yes, I want to try the free preset or something like that. Or yes, I want to try it for free. And I said the first 10 people that send a comment. Now you got to give a comment below. Now I've already had one person email me, and that one person that emailed me, I already let them know as soon as I finish it, I'm going to give it to you. Now the way this is going to be, this is just one plugin, but there's going to be a whole bundle. I haven't really created that many plugins at one time. I've only created like maybe 2 plugins. I keep saying plugins, but 2 presets so far. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a whole bunch of presets. Like there's going to be some for like special effects, some for like the telephone effect, like if you don't know how to get that. And then for whatever you need it for, you could just slap it on there and tweak it a little bit and you'll be good to go. All right. This is just the norm, and this is Waveform Explorer. Now I know you subscribed, because we're getting ready to hit 1,000, y'all. We're getting ready to hit 1,000. It's April 5th, all right? 1,000 needs to happen before April, the end of April. April 30th, right? Is that right? April 31st? How many days is there in April? I forgot. I don't even remember. But, yeah, April 30th. By April 30th. Or before. If you want to do it by the second week of April, I'm cool with that too as well. All right? I need you all to click the like button, and I need you to subscribe. All right. Take care, you all. Peace.